Good morning, north of 44 degrees. A bit of an impromptu project this morning. Let's duck into the craft room and see what we've got going on. Several years ago, I bought my wife 4 of these boxes. They're IKEA, and she uses them just to store her extra stuff for crafting that she does. And you can see I have French cleats on them. But because she's not sure where she wants them to go, she asked me to build a riser that will sit on this table. And so I should just put them on top until she figures out. This table's actually going away. We're going to build some cabinets, a countertop here for her to work from. That'll be a little bit narrower. This table's 60 deep by 30, I think 30 wide. Maybe 36 wide. It's a good size, but it's too deep for what she needs. They'll eventually go on this wall someplace, but until then, she just wants a riser to get them up on the back of the table. So we're going to run up to the big box store and grab a sheet of plywood and build a pretty simple riser. I'll be back shortly. Fresh back from the big box store. There was a choice of pine, oak, or birch ply. She liked the color of the pine better, so that's what we went with. It was certainly the lightest and the cheapest of the 3 options. I would not recommend this for building any kind of cabinetry. I'll start by breaking down this panel. I'm going to cut the end off for the legs so that all the 3 legs are exactly the same height. So that piece will become the legs. Because I want to go ahead and cut those slats before I do anything else, I got the scrap piece and did some test cuts, make sure I had the depth right. When you lay that blade over at 45 degrees, the cutting depth is very, very different. So I want to make sure I got that right. Took me 2 or 3 tries. Not too bad, but that worked.
So the plan is cut slats 3 inches from the top, and then every 2 inches to make 6 rows, because beyond that you're going to be so close to the desk that a slat wall is not going to make much difference. So there'll be 6 cuts. Clamp the level there as a straight line. The second set of marks that I made is the distance from the guard to the blade, which is 5 inches. Effectively, it doesn't really make a difference as long as they're all the same. So I'll clamp on the clamp marks and make 6 cuts, and we should have 6 relatively straight slat wall lines. Then I'll take a piece of the scrap and I'll cut a corresponding, before I move the blade, I'll cut a corresponding channel in that, so that when we put the piece of metal in for the slat, it'll be the same. So that's the plan. just realized I made a gigantic rookie mistake by not checking to make sure the camera was recording. So laying out the legs, so we're going to do kind of a half moon in the front, and just a couple holes to lighten up the material. So the way I did it, I just grabbed a patterning bucket lid and just kind of lined up the center of the bucket lid. So this is coming down 2.5 inches to give some good support up top for the shelf, and the bottom is 2 inches. So I just traced a half moon here and then kind of found a good spot, and I'll just cut this out and trace it over on the other one. For the holes, this is a 4-inch hole saw. I'm just gonna drop a hole in here, down here, and then this is a 2.5 inch, so I'll do here. So that should take out a good chunk of material. On the smaller one, I'm just doing 2. I did bring this one in. This leg is 13. The shelf is 14 inches wide. This leg, these 2 legs are 13 inches wide, and the middle leg, because it's just more of a support than anything else, is 11. So that's what that's going to look like. So I got everything kind of laid out. To make sure I get these in roughly the same spot, I'll grab a drill bit and I'll drill these holes all at the same time. I'll probably go with a jigsaw on this and a sander to kind of smooth out the edges. The last thing I want to do here is feet. So let me grab a small square.
Using the square, I marked out the feet. I believe they're 1.5 inches wide and about 1 inch tall. Just made some marks using the straight edge, so I had nice good reference points. Turn that square over to a 60-degree angle to give it a little more interest, and cut those edges at a 60 degree. I did all of one side at first, and then reset the square, and then did the other side. One thing I didn't do a very good job of is making those lines dark enough. When I start cutting, it becomes very hard to see the pencil lines. On the second and the third board, I actually darken those lines up with a Sharpie. The jigsaw just makes such a mess. It's sometimes hard to see those. Grabbed a piece of scrap foam, clamped up the right and left leg, and drilled some holes through so those holes would match up perfectly when I grabbed the hole saw.
And I will admit, these are my least favorite drill bits. These drills are so torquey, and you end up...
By and large, the hole cutting process went pretty well. There were a couple of them that gave me fits.
Hey.
Not too bad. Oh my gosh, honey, I'm exhausted. Wow, it's productive.
We'll see.
I don't know what you're doing, but it looks good.
Yeah.
It actually could end up being in there permanently. I don't know.
I don't know. May not be that nice.
Yeah, who knows? Okay, so that's it.
Cutting halfway through the hole on one side and then flipping the board over did actually do a pretty good job of reducing the tear out. I was actually very pleased with that. Final sanding was easy as well. The interior edges were very smooth, so it didn't take a lot to clean those up. You'll notice I'm very careful not to touch the edge of that blade after it's done cutting. So much friction there, it does get quite hot. So you want to be careful that you don't burn your fingers. I didn't realize until editing that I had actually forgot to hit the record button on the jigsaw. So there's no evidence of that, but the result is there. Pretty straightforward, new blade, so it blasted right through that soft pine. Sanding went pretty quickly. Again, the material's pretty soft. Well, I was able to use the sander on the big surfaces. I did have to hand sand those holes. I didn't have a round over bit that I liked for doing the edges, so I just sanded a soft edge onto all the boards so to kind of break that edge up a little bit. Sandpaper I have is not great, so I go through a lot of it. I will say that when you're doing the cabinet making, the quality is a lot more important. I spend more time doing framing at this point, so I don't have all the nice cabinet making stuff that I need. Once I got the legs done, then it was on to the top and the bottom. Not much difference, though it did go pretty quick. By the way, I did sand this down to 120. I didn't go too crazy on it because I don't know exactly what the finish is going to be. So we left it at 120 for now, and if we need to finish sand it a little bit higher at a later point, we can. But for now, 120 is just fine. Sanding being done, we grabbed the tape measure and laid out the legs. I kind of planned it so that the outside legs would land underneath the middle of a box. If you space those boxes out evenly across, then both of those boxes would land, both the end boxes would land over a leg. Just for some additional support, and then you have the one dead in the middle. Then you have the unexpected reveal coming in 3, 2, 1. Wait for it.
Oh, honey, that's insane.
What?
That looks great.
It's what you wanted, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what I wanted.
That's exactly what you said.
That looks great. I might just be keeping that. I gotta paint it. Can I figure out if I want it painted or stained? Wow. That's really nice, honey. Thank you. That's beautiful.
But wait, there's more. So
Oh, that's the back of it.
right. But this is slat wall.
Okay.
So this is cut at a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
Put a piece of metal in here, and then whatever attachment you want gets a similar piece of metal at a 45-degree angle, and you can hang things.
Oh,
Yes.
where do you get the metal at?
I got a piece over in my bin.
Oh, cool. Hey, I like that. That's nice. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I might just be keeping that.
So I think I'm going to leave this big. Well, you tell me. Do you want this to be the width of the legs or the whole width of the thing?
Can you put it behind it, then I can tell? It's hard to see. I think I wanted the width of the whole thing.
Okay.
Because since you made some hangers for it, I can hang stuff on it.
Yeah.
With the sanding done, the legs marked, it was time to do pocket holes. I did use the Craig system. I found it a pretty effective joining method. I thought about doing something a little fancier, but just didn't seem like it was necessary.
Just back from dinner. Let's see if we can get this thing wrapped up tonight.
So the request was for a riser to sit on a desk that would hold 4 12 by 12 by 12 cubes, 20 inches high. And the expectation was a shelf with 4 dowels. And so that's what she asked for, and this is what she got. So depth-wise, we're 14 inches from here to here, so that'll be a nice, an extra little bit to hang on to. 20 inches high, so her light fits underneath, though we may do under cabinet lighting at some point. I did do a cleat system so that she can hang. We'll make a couple sample carriers for her for pens and paper and whatever else she wants, so she kind of understands what the possibilities are. And other than that, I think it's exactly what she asked for. I will have to go in later. I'm done for tonight. I will fill up these holes, so those are all nice and clean. I will put some edge banding on the top here. I have some oak that I'll fit in. And she hasn't decided if she wants it stained or painted, so we'll leave it raw for now. I'll do the rest of that, and I'll show you the finished project some other point. But for tonight, for a one-day build, I think we'll call it done. Things I would have done different. These legs, I think I would have done a pattern and a router bit, a flush cut trim bit, to do the legs with. They're not perfect. They're not bad, but they're not perfect. I think they could be a little bit better. Other than that, I am actually pretty happy with everything. I like the holes, as fun as they were to cut. I think that gives a nice, a little lightness to it, so it doesn't look like such quite a lump of lumber. So tell me what you think. Thanks for watching this far. Hope you enjoyed.